right, it says we are live. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to This Week Unloaded. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about well, two of us saw the rally. I think, did you watch any of the video on it, Gary?
Yes, I did.
All right, so guess Gary can talk a little bit about what he saw and what his perspective was on it as well. So that's good. And tonight, well, you guys already know Gary's here because I already mentioned him. How are you tonight, Gary?
Hi, thanks for the invite.
Yep, no problem. And next to him, I believe we have Mr. Jason Stewart. Or I think he's beside him. I mean, they're beside each other on my screen anyway. So, how are you tonight, Jason?
Hi, Rich. I'm doing good. Glad to hear from you tonight.
On YouTube screens, he's not beside Gary. I am. Okay. I just went over and looked on YouTube. Yep. So, ignore me if I say somebody's beside somebody when they're not. This thing's screwy.
On my screen, I'm down at the bottom all by myself, and you guys are up top.
And
on my screen, I'm on the bottom.
Yeah, so that's the way it is with me. I'm on the bottom, and you guys are on top. So yeah,
so whoever it is on the bottom.
Yeah, I guess you see yourself on the bottom. So, but then they go on YouTube. It's it's showing me, then Gary, then you on the bottom, Jason. I'm on the left, Gary's on the right, and you're on the bottom. Anyway, now we got that all situated.
Chicken's on top for me.
All right. Yes, Snob's wife is out there. D-Temp is out there. Not going to mention YouTube because you're in here, so you don't count. But Snob's wife has a link if she's able to jump in. I don't know if she's able to or not, but I did send her a link, I believe. I think I did. Now I got to check again. Now I'm going to make myself look like an idiot if I didn't, right? I think I did. Yep, I did. Okay. Whew. I'm safe.
So did you hear all the speakers or most of the speakers when standing up there close, Rich?
Oh, yeah, we could hear everybody. We're a high-low 45 ACP and I were standing. We could hear everybody.
That was one thing I thought that could have been better. Was the speakers weren't very loud, or there wasn't very many of them. It was like once you were just at the back of the crowd, it was kind of hard to hear. But like the videos from Snob or from Sarge, and you can hear a lot. I mean, it's really good. He was up there pretty close.
Yeah, the two of them went up close and were recording. Squib kept walking around everywhere. I mean, he was just moving. He wasn't staying in one spot for long.
Budget will be putting out a video, what he did when he was there, and his brother did some filming, and he did some filming, so he'll have like different looks and different views of it.
If you had to pick one speaker that you could hear, who would you say, in your opinion, gave the best speech? Jason, since you were there.
I don't know. I'll admit there was some people there that like I know I don't really heard them before or know too much, but the people that are head of some of the bigger groups and organizations, I like a lot of things they had to say. I like that Chris Cheng, if that's how you say his name, the guy that was on Top Shots.
Yeah,
I liked his view of things, and like Eric Pratt, you know what I mean? He was good, but I think people kind of missed it. I liked Eric for Iraq Veteran 888. I thought he did a great job starting it out,
What about you, Gary? Out of what you've been able to see, who do you think did the best?
I was impressed by KD, Kevin Dixie. I liked his a lot.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I would put Maj, his speech, just above KD's, and then be Maj, KD, and then Ken Blanchard. I think would be third, followed by Tim. Eric did a good job opening up, like you said, Jason. But there was everybody's going to have a different opinion on it, right? But that would be how I would list the top four, and then below that, they were all pretty good. I didn't really care for the guy that used to be the president of the Brady campaign because he he was trying to say that he's pro gun while at the same time curtailing it while still trying to slide under there that we need to have some kind of gun control measures and all this other crap. So
Oh
really,
yeah,
I really didn't care for him being there and speaking what he was saying. You know what I mean?
he said he agreed with we would agree with him, and he'd agree with us like 90%. Is that the
Yeah,
same guy who said that?
yeah. That's that guy. But there's still measures that we could do to make things safer, which is the code words for saying gun control. Whenever you hear them talking about that and they don't want to flat out say gun control, that's how they do it. We need to have a discussion because we can make things safer. And that's exactly what he was doing. I don't know who invited him, but they need to be smacked upside their damn head.
I thought the lawyer from Pittsburgh wasn't too bad either.
Yeah.
He was like clearly, motivated on our side of things.
Yeah. And I don't know if you could hear the people that were next to me in Ohio 45 ACP. They were starting to get on my nerves, to be honest with you. But they obviously weren't listening to Maj when he gave his speech. Maj was pretty much telling people, quit calling for a war all the time. You don't know what war is. Unless you're willing to die, sit down and shut up with that stuff. I mean, that's basically what Maj was telling. And these idiots were still out there yelling about the Boogaloo war slogan thing and all this other crap. It's like, Jesus Christ, people. They totally missed the point of Maj's speech.
I had a little laugh. We saw a pretty large group of like tourists came up behind the crowd and had their own little band. I can't tell you what it was. They were they were Japanese, Korean, Chinese, or whatever. So they had a nice group of them. We're all visiting, and they got together and opened up a banner, and all of them sat there and got their picture in. They like stole our crowd for their background picture, and they rolled their things up, was all happy, and went off sightseeing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Didn't see that. You know what else I didn't see? I don't know if you saw it or not. I didn't see anybody from Moms Demand Action or Demand Attention, whichever you want to call them, or any other anti-gun group out there protesting. Did you?
No. When I went down to the Capitol here in Columbus, they had them, but I didn't see a single person like that there. I saw younger people cutting through the lawn there in the crowd that had some rather not nice things to say, but if they were just young mouthy kids, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. I mean, I saw there was one group of kids that were all wearing the same jersey. They just kept coming over and watching, but they weren't. They didn't say anything. I didn't see anybody say anything derogatory or anything.
Yeah, if you got out to the outside edges and like where we went over and leaned against the wall, the other people that are just traveling by, you could hear comments from different people and people that were cutting behind the crowd and just trying to have words with people and say stuff. And we were called some names and stuff.
I can't really say I'm surprised by that, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, I didn't hear any of that kind of stuff. When we were standing kind of towards the middle, but towards the back you know, we weren't right up front. We weren't really in the middle. We were towards the back a little bit, but not like you get what I'm saying. You know where we were at. You saw what we were saying. We were basically in the same spot when we were all just like grouped together in the huddle talking before, and you know, a Highway 45 ACP. I mean, we really didn't move any from that spot, so you get a general idea where we were at.
There was a lot of interesting flags people had, not just American flags. There were several flags that I were Googling to see what kind of flag it was.
So, what were your takeaways from it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I was glad to see it. I was glad to witness it and see it and hear what the people had to say. And everybody that was there was there, I guess, feeling the same way I was. And you know, there was like 100,000 baseball people over there, you know, partying and having a good time. And, you know, that was all great. But our group of people there were like all brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Those guys over there are just common fans with strangers. But it was a little different over here on our side. It was kind of cool.
Real quick, we've been joined by Bloke's 2 Cents. How are you tonight, Bloke? If you're talking, you're muted. Okay, we'll get back to him. You might be having technical difficulties. What about you, Gary? Out of what you saw, what would be your takeaway from it?
I think it was a good start considering the amount of planning they had to go into it and everything. I think if they're going to do something like that again, they need to get the word out a little faster and stuff like that. But the tone of the crowd was really good. The speakers were excellent. And it'd be great if they did something like that once a year.
Yeah, I mean, that would be good. I mean, you know, and it wouldn't be that hard. And if this becomes a yearly thing, you know, you definitely would end up with a bigger turnout because people would have more advance notice. Well, and we've been joined by Stacy, aka Snob's wife, as well. She just popped in, but we'll go up. Oh, go ahead, Stacy. I'm gonna say something. Okay. We'll get back to Bloke. Get you there now, Bloke? Maybe not. Okay. Well, welcome, Stacy, and then how you tonight, ma'am?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. A little sore from yesterday walking around DC.
Oh, I can imagine. I wish I could have gone.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, Bloke says he's having technical difficulties here. So, yeah, he might try reconnecting Bloke, see if that helps. I don't know. Yeah. So, did you catch any of the rally at all, Stacy, on videos or anything?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't actually sat there and just watched a bunch of it. I ended up doing a bunch of stuff this weekend.
Okay.
And played Fortnite.
Out of what you did see, did anything like really catch your attention or anything?
I heard a little bit of that former police officer from Tulsa from DC Project. I heard some of hers, so that was pretty cool. and stuff. And I think I heard a little bit of Carrie Sloan's, but I didn't probably catch enough of it to really make a conversation out of it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, can hear you
Oh.
fine.
Good. Thanks. Sorry about that. I was having technical difficulties.
Okay. Yeah, I figured that was the case. What were you saying, Stace?
Just that I've only seen just a few bits and pieces of it. I mean, not enough to really comment too far on it. Just I haven't really just sat down and just watched it. I plan on it, but I just haven't done it yet.
Okay. What about get you an introduction now, Bloke, since you got your technical difficulties settled, Spears. How are you doing tonight?
Great. Just got back from the range, so I apologize for being late and the invite, and I appreciate the invite, obviously. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Did you happen to catch any of the rally at all from different videos or anything anybody posted?
Yeah, actually, I caught a little bit of Obnoxious's one. I saw, I forgot the guy's name, but, he's the person of color. And then Hickok stepped up on that, and then I wasn't able to watch the rest of it. But from what I understand, David Kingpin was there, and yeah, apparently only about 2,000 showed up when there was supposed to be about 5,000, I think. But I definitely think more support is needed. But it was definitely a good rally. At least that many people showed up. I wish I could have gone.
Yeah, it was a good turnout. Jason and I were there as well. And, yeah, there was 1,500 to 2,000 people there, which, on the front lawn there in front of the Capitol is a decent sized amount of people for that area.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would have been just nice to meet Kingpin because all I know of is his hands. That's about it.
I know, don't you hate that? You see these people, you talk to them all the time, and then you just have that thing in your head, like you're trying to picture what they look like, but you can't quite picture it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's probably a big buff guy for all I know, but all I know is all I've seen is his hands.
Yeah, the thing with Kingpin's like
He's
G-Webs.
tall.
Yeah, Kingpin's like G-Webs. Whatever vision you have in your head is probably wrong.
Yeah. Well, I haven't met G-Webs yet either, and I don't even think I've ever seen his hands either.
Yeah, and I think G's going to be in Tulsa, isn't he? Isn't he coming back through Tulsa?
That's my understanding, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of like to see what he looks like. I've, haven't really seen him, but that's what's cool about Wanamaker and NRA is you get to meet people from on here that you don't, get to meet a lot.
Yeah. I was going to come up to Tulsa, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to this year because I have a project going on for in December. So my monies are going to be directed towards the SHOT Show in Nevada, and that's just because we're trying to create revenue. So I really wish I could come, but my hands are tied at this point, especially with grad school in January. Part of my requisites is that I have to work basically for free for 6 months, and it's going to be kind of tight. So I got to be very limited in where I put that money.
There'll be another one in April.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to SHOT this year. Snob's going, but I'm not going.
In Nevada?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Great.
Snob would be there, but we decided I should, at least for this year, I should be home with the kids. Next year be a little easier. We'll have 2 of them that have their driver's license next year.
Gotcha.
So I'm not going.
Yeah, I have to go because of our recent endeavor with this B&K Pulse thing. So we shall see.
Yeah, I would love to go to Vegas. I hadn't been in Vegas since 94.
Oh wow,
Last time I went.
that's the year I came to this country.
I got married in July in Vegas in 94.
Was it through a drive-through?
No. We actually did it at the courthouse.
Oh.
But no, I don't know. The drive-throughs are just cheesy.
How's everybody else on the panel tonight?
Yeah, if you're going to go get married through a drive-through, you might as well expect to get divorced in a year.
So, unfortunately, I'll give you a little short, funny story. Went out to the range today for a suppressor tester and a 300 blackout demo on just fundamentals of utilizing a 300 blackout. And we did a great number of video shoots. Unfortunately, the guy who was usually videotaping was not there, so another guy stepped in and he didn't like to use the headset to listen, so there is absolutely no sound. So it's a good
Wow,
waste.
that suppressor works then, doesn't it?
He suppressed the whole video with it.
Oh yeah. So we got about 3 hours of absolutely nothing but video.
Yeah, Sarge is out there. Sarge, if you're able, you got a link, brother, if you want to jump in.
Oh yeah, it was nice to meet. It was nice to meet Sarge too. I seen the mustache in person.
Well, at least I know what Sarge looks like, Jason, I don't think I've ever seen your face. Oh, know what? I think we did, didn't we? I think you showed it one time.
I got to be careful, the witness protection program and everything.
It's all in for you. Jason's been on camera before.
Yeah, I think we went. I think we went live one time. It was after the show, but I'm curious to see. Anybody take any pictures of Kingpin?
Yeah, I believe has Kingpin on.
Yeah, I told him I keep it personal though.
Okay.
He doesn't like pictures and stuff like that. So
I don't either. But David's a good guy. He's a good looking guy. He's a tall guy. I don't know why he wouldn't be on camera, but that's his deal.
I don't know if Sarge got him on camera on the pre-show or not.
He's the same as he sounds, and he's real. What he believes and what he says on these chats is who he is. He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's a stellar guy, man. In my opinion, very very down to earth, and he just shoots it straight, which is pretty cool. Most of you guys, I mean, everybody on the panel is too. So very appreciative knowing you guys. I just wish I could meet you guys in person more.
Yeah, Kingpin wouldn't even let me put gas in his car.
I can see that.
But I did pay for Burger King though. I was.
Yeah, like I agree with like how Gary says that if they could have planned this like in a year in advance or even 6 months in advance, it probably would have been a lot bigger. Maybe the speakers could have had a little more time,
Mm-hmm.
But to pull off a rally like that, just to get those speakers all there, that's a lot of effort, a lot of work.
Yeah.
And there wasn't dead time. I mean, once they started, speakers were lined up. You know what I mean? It wasn't amateur hour in that respect in any way. That was a lot to do. They filled up what time they had with speakers all the way. There wasn't no dead air, as they'd say.
That's awesome. I didn't realize how tall Hickok was. I mean, I knew he was tall, but that dude is tall.
Yeah, I mean, there were speakers from Washington State, California, Nevada, Indiana, Oklahoma, up and down the Eastern Seaboard. They were from everywhere.
That's awesome.
And we have been joined by Sarge from C4 Defense. How are you tonight, sir? You there, Sarge?
He's on
You're
mute.
muted, Sarge.
You're muted if you.
Oh, I guess I had it set to where it automatically mutes. What's going
No, I
on?
had it set that way because I had sent an invite.
What's up, Sarge?
Hey, what's up?
Living large.
We were just talking about the rally yesterday. What are your takeaways from Sarge?
I'm sorry, I was switching my headphones. What was that?
I was just saying we were just discussing the rally yesterday. What were your takeaways from it?
I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect to enjoy the speakers as much as I did. I'd not been to a rally. I thought I was more looking forward to just being there, being our presence being accounted for, and maybe mingling around with meeting some people and get to meet up with some of the other folks I expected to be there and meeting some new folks. That's kind of what I was thinking about. I didn't realize the speakers were going to be as good as they were. I was very impressed. I'm very unimpressed with everyone that has taken the time online to just downgrade it and just complain and say that it made us look weak and that it affected our movement. I have zero respect for anyone that says that. Could there have been more people there? Yes. I think, and I am so disappointed with, and I was watching a chat earlier, with people that just sit there and complain about it, but did not attend. I understand if you couldn't go. I fully get that. I fully understand. But if you didn't go, you have no room to sit there and complain about it. Normally, if we were offline, I would just let it fly, but I am torqued up about this.
Yeah, but what was the reasoning for them, down talking?
It's just so some people just want to complain about everything. All they do is want to stir the pot and stir the pot and stir the pot. Wouldn't matter what it is.
I have the greatest respect for everybody who went out there. I mean, at least you guys actually took the initiative and went out there. I mean,
yeah, but some people think that it made us look weak because we had a small showing. At least some people went. That is a hard area to have a gun rights rally in, a non-firearm area to have a rally. I thought the amount that we had there was actually pretty good. You could have had it in Virginia and probably got 10 times the amount of people. But to have it in DC at the Capitol, that's kind of going behind enemy lines. And there was a lot of people there. But some people just want to sit there and complain and make it all about them. No one cares what their opinion is. No one cares. So I only care about the people that were there or the people that are supportive of it.
Yeah, some of the same people that are complaining about the turnout are some of the same people that said that they weren't going to go because they couldn't carry a gun to it.
Yep. I can't believe some people are so afraid of everything that they cannot go without a gun. I went without one.
Yeah, I was
I
there.
get paid to carry one. Yeah, I get paid to carry one.
I thought it was
Carry
nice
when I'm off duty.
I thought it was nice that
I
a
went
few
without
people
one.
that couldn't attend
No problem.
sent some patches, stickers, pins, and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know what that would cost somebody, but I saw that bag of the Gadsden flag, the Don't Tread on Me pins that Midnight sent, and that was spot on. I thought that was spot on.
Yeah, an artist and Tony, what he did for Rob D when he found out Rob D had paid to have his truck fixed and everything, so he could get there. He wired me some money so I could give Rob D the money to offset the cost that he had to pay to get his truck fixed, so he could be there. I mean, that was pretty.
See, so I didn't know about that. That's great.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
So,
kind of
so what did you think about it, Rich?
Okay, two of you were talking at the same time. What were you saying, Sarge?
Oh, I was going to say, what did you think about it, Rich?
I thought it was a pretty decent turnout for the amount of time. Because that's another thing you got to take into consideration. This wasn't planned like a year in advance. Like you would expect with some place like SHOT Show where you would get a bigger crowd, or the Wanamaker Gun Show or something like that. For the little bit of time that went into planning this, it wasn't all that bad of a crowd. There was I would say there was 1,500, 2,000 people there. That's not.
I would think
relatively
2,000 would be a pretty good estimate.
Yeah. I mean, it really wasn't that bad of a crowd. It's not.
No, not at all. Not at all. And everyone behaved. Everyone conducted themselves. Well, I don't want to use the word professional because no one was getting paid, but I mean, everyone conducted themselves well, I thought.
Mhm.
So that's one thing I was very happy about, very proud of.
Yeah, and nobody made a mess. There wasn't a whole bunch of garbage left over on the ground afterwards. And you know
I'll
what?
tell you what, it's hard to find a trash can around there.
I tell you what, though, if you were looking even where the baseball crowd was, they didn't leave a massive mess either. I mean, the worst that Kingpin and I saw was garbage that was on the ground near the garbage cans, but that's just because the garbage cans were all full.
Yeah, but that's in the appropriate area. It's beside the can.
So
Yep.
I mean, neither group really left a mess everywhere. I was really surprised about that because a lot of time when you look at after pictures of one of like the left when they have one of their rallies or something in DC, there's a mess everywhere. There was none of that from either group this time.
No, I think we conducted ourselves very well. I think people that are downgrading it they don't get it. But I'm looking forward to another one, to the next one next year. And they even, like you just said, they acknowledged it in their talks that this was really just put together at the last minute. And to be put together at the last minute, I think they had a great list of speakers and they had a pretty good attendance. They really did. You know, like you just said, what if they plan it 6 months in advance or a year in advance? Let's go ahead and lock down a weekend and start planning this a year in advance and see what we can get next time.
Yeah, make it a 2-day event or something, you know.
Well, maybe like some other events in conjunction with it, but
Yeah.
I think it lasted about the right amount of time.
Yeah,
Was the news covering?
I
No, I
saw
did not
it.
see any news myself.
I don't know.
I saw some things online. I haven't watched the articles, but I saw it on like some of the. If you type in 2A rally, there's articles that pop up now.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody was there. They're borrowing footage, I'm sure.
Well, didn't Budget have some reporter that was supposed to be with him for part of the day?
Yes,
Maybe.
he did.
And did anybody ever figure out what that helicopter was that kept flying around, circling both the rally and the national?
Well, I'm sure that was Capitol Police monitoring the area with all those events taking place. I'm sure that was Capitol Police.
Did you
No
notice
one else
the
would
two
have
jet fighters?
authorization. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The two jet fighters flew over for the baseball celebration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what are those, like F-16s or something?
I didn't.
That
see
was
what
pretty
they
neat
were.
seeing those come through.
Yeah, well, my poor eyesight, I couldn't tell what they were.
Oh no! I mean, you can hear them when they flew over. You're like, nope, that's not just a commercial jet. And you look over, and they were just booking it across the sky. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
That's
I just
cool.
saw two dots moving fast. I couldn't tell exactly what they were.
Yeah, they were in their whatever you call their formation. They were close together,
Mhm.
exact matching speed. Really wasn't all that loud, but like I've been to NASCAR races, and they'll bring in those jets like that and stop them right in the middle and shoot straight up in the air, and it's really loud. But those two jets flew over, and they were relatively quiet, I thought.
Mm-hmm. You could tell they had a different tone. They sounded different than like a commercial jet flying over.
Yeah, you knew it was military. Or
Mhm.
just like the pure like high performance of it, you know.
So I asked them this question, Ray Sarge. If you had to pick one speech that you would say was the best one, which one would it have been?
I would have a very difficult time. I'm going right now through my footage, and I don't know what was going on with my mic. I was thinking I don't think it was the volume as much as I was having a little technical issue, maybe with my mixer. Something was going on with it, so I got to work that out before we go to Wanamaker. I was really impressed with Ken Blanchard. That's a very articulate fella. Didn't know much about him. I kind of knew who he was, but I was really impressed. He was a very powerful speaker. Kevin Dixie did very well. He always does well when he speaks. Maj did good. Carrie did pretty good. Carrie Sloan, she did pretty good. Mac did really good. Of course, Haycock, he was his nice, normal self. He is. I mean, I guess I was really impressed with Ken Blanchard. I would say the most. I'd have to go back and watch him again, really, to pick you one that was the best. But he impressed me.
Yeah, I had him at number 2, or no, I had him at number 3. My number 1 was Maj, then KD, and then Ken Blanchard.
He was laying it out there. That's really I'd seen another video with him, like an Instagram video, and I don't know a whole lot about him, but he was laying it out there. Yeah, he was. I have a hard time picking a one. I could pick like a top 5.
Yeah. Well, if I was going to go top 5, next would have been on Mac, and then I don't know from there. I don't know who I would put number 5, but those 4 are the ones that really stood out to me the most. But you had the guy that was the lawyer from Pittsburgh, like Jason was saying before you got in here. He was really good. Eric,
he was.
Eric did a decent job as the introductory interview. Speaker.
He did. I went through when I put them all in order in my video. I went back and listed all the speakers in order because there's some that weren't on the list. There's one at least that wasn't listed as being there, and there's several that were listed that weren't there. So I went back and listed them. I guess my top 5 would be, I'm looking at it right now. Ken Blanchard, KD, Maj, Tim did really good. And oh gosh, I don't know who. And this is not in any particular order as far as what the top 5 are. I really like John Patton's his speech. I thought it was powerful when he said that do not treat me like a criminal, or don't dare treat me like a criminal. That meant something, the way he said it, the way he conveyed it. So pretty good.
Man, KD had one line on. You think I'm playing victim? Try treating me like a victim and find out.
Yeah, try and make me a victim.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good line. Pretty good statement.
I guess time will tell, see how far this goes as far as the repercussion.
I did like the Tulsa lady that testified to Congress a month or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her.
Oh,
She was early in it, the event, I'm pretty sure. But
she was the second one.
She got the I will not comply. She got the crowd putting their voice out there instead of just standing. At the beginning, and I thought she was pretty good because I liked how she handled herself in front of Congress. So that's when I first ever heard of her. But it was glad that she was there. Like I said, I was saying earlier that, for the time that they had, there was no dead air. The speakers were all lined up, ready to go. I would have wished each speaker would have had a little more time because, I enjoyed like I don't know, Rich, 99% of all of it. I enjoyed to hear. I'd like to hear more from all of these people.
Yeah, and Jeff Knox and Rob Pincus did a great job. I guess you would call them MC. They were like co-MCs of it or hosts. They did a great job talking in between and not just walking up and saying, "Hey, here's the next one," but having a little bit to say and touching on the last one and touching on the next one and giving them a good introduction. They did a really good job in their roles. Plus, when they spoke in their own, their 5-minute allotment, they did really good.
Yeah. And onto the I will not comply line. There was a lot of callbacks to that in the later speeches too.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting back to if they made it a bigger event, there's a shooting.
We lost you, Rich.
I muted myself. I wasn't paying attention. I was going to say, well, getting back to the make a multiple day event, they could do the rally like they did this year, right there at the Capitol building, and then there's a shooting range not that far away from there that they're going to have gunathon at. We could do there could be a shooting event the next day or the day before. That might help draw in a bigger crowd next time.
Mm-hmm.
Like New York Outcast out there just brought up. Remember Gabby Franco, the little girl? Well, not a girl, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, she was good, and she was getting emotional.
Yeah, I remember when she was on Top Shot. I was actually rooting for her to win when she was on Top Shot. She's an excellent shot. I think she was on the same season that Chris Chen was, if I remember right. I think they were on the same season. And they were both there at the rally speaking. So that was interesting to see the two of them there.
So who actually did all this? Was Rob Pincus the one that put all this together?
I think him and Jeff Knox kind of put it together. I heard Pincus was actively involved in it, and I'm reasonably sure they put it together. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I had heard.
Sorry, my wife was talking to me. I didn't hear anything what you two were just saying. So anybody else have any ideas how they could improve this maybe next year if they did it again, or in 6 months if they were to do it again?
Just more planning and
planning.
And I think a big thing would be to have a large section of the website or maybe even some videos telling people the easiest way to get into and out of the city and maybe the firearms restrictions. Maybe some like a travel guide, like telling us where the train stations were, where the metro stations, because parking may be at a premium, or there's parking here, or there's parking there, and the easiest and simplest way to do it is to go here and then just take the train in. I know that people touched on it a little bit, but probably more of that would help.
How was the parking there?
We took a train in, and it was the easiest I've had. As far as getting in and out of a major city, it was the easiest.
Yeah.
Parking was actually free. Where
Yeah,
we're at?
You park at one of the parking rides or whatever they call them.
No, we went to the metro train station. We went to Franconia, Springfield. The train station. The parking was free. The round trip ticket was cheap. It was $10 a piece to get in and out of the city. And you got on the train and you went through a couple stops, and 30 minutes later you were getting off right next to the Capitol.
Yeah,
It's the simplest thing.
Kingpin parked in the city. He paid $15 for parking, and getting out was a pain in the rear end because we didn't leave until 20 to 8, and they still had all the roads closed off. Everybody, the parade was over, the rally was over. Everybody was leaving. They had all the roads blocked off still. It made getting out of the city a royal pain.
How long did it take?
We just walked to the train station. We walked 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, the train showed up and we were on our way. It was so easy.
It took us 45 minutes.
I think a travel guide might help people's apprehension and might get more people to show up.
Yeah,
I was really impressed with how clean the city was too.
It had to. By the time we got the Kingpin's car to the time we were able to get out of the city, probably about 45 minutes. And DC is not a big city. Where we were going to take Interstate 66, which runs right into downtown Washington. You can see all the monuments and everything from Interstate 66. It took us 45 minutes to get from where he was parked to the interstate because they had everything blocked off. And trying to find your way around. If they would have had Constitution Avenue open, we would have been out of there in no time. That is the main road that connects to I-66, and that road being closed down was really stupid.
How long of a drive was it to get there?
From here, I think it took us with myself and the Highway 45 ACP who was driving. They came here and picked me up. It was about 2.5 hours, I think, to get there. We didn't run into really any heavy traffic because we got there early. We pulled into DC. It was around 10:30.
Rob out there says he paid $10 to park and he got out of there in 10 minutes.
Where did you park?
It's $1 a minute.
Man. Yeah, he must have been parked near the edge. Kingpin was parked more towards the middle, towards where the Capitol building is, and the parking lot he was parked in. And man, it was a pain in the neck getting out of there.
Well, I noticed Kingpin was all adamant about you can't jaywalk. And like, that's like a non-existent law where I live, you can't jaywalk there anywhere. And when I got lost up in the neighborhoods trying to get back to where we was, I was walking around forever. And that is the deal. The blocks aren't very big at all, maybe like 100 yards of each street apart, cutting across. And if you're on the sidewalk or anybody's on the sidewalk, just like one person or anything, everybody stands and waits right there till it says that they're allowed to walk across, even though there's no cars coming or nothing. So they must really give out the tickets.
We were when Kingpin and I were trying to get out of there. Every time we would go by one of the roads that was blocked off, where you couldn't drive down that road, there would be cops on their bikes. Me and him were joking around that, oh, we know that's why they closed off the road. They're having their own police bike race without telling anybody. Because there would be like a pack of cops on bikes just going by, like 10 cops on their bikes. It's like, what the hell are they doing?
I wondered when we were there if anybody ever held a rally on the steps of the Supreme Court.
sure somebody has at some point, but you don't really have a whole lot of room for spectators and stuff there, like you would like at the Capitol building. You don't have the mall and the big like yard
Yep.
or whatever you want to call it in front of the, because right in front of the Supreme Court building's a road. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you could let your presence and your opinion known when you know there's a big case happening,
Yeah, but that would probably be frowned upon. People have
Yeah, I
to get in
know
and out of
because
there.
it's a court and your influence, but uh, if we have to fight for our rights, then we're gonna have to fight dirty and don't care about opinion. Go up there and beat on the doors, I mean, Jane Fonda will go up there and get arrested over the weather. The more of these people in Washington want to just keep taking and taking and deciding what they think the Constitution says. We need to go bang on the doors. Today we were in the yard. Tomorrow we'll be on the porch. Next day we'll be banging on the doors. And if you keep it up, we'll just, bang our way through that door.
Hey guys, I got to get going, but I appreciate the invite, guys, and thank you for going out there. And you guys are the bomb.
All right,
See
Bloke.
you later on.
See ya.
You got anything you
See
want
ya.
to quick, Bloke?
Say what now?
You got anything you want to plug real quick?
Just check out everybody's channel. I recently got added onto 430, which is freaking honor, so that's pretty cool. Not much content on there now. I'm only selecting a few to put on there, and upcoming as far as what's going to be on the content, we're going to do some different things related to our channel as far as testing suppressors with the B&K Pulse. So it's going to be interesting. And that's about it for right now.
All right, well, you have a good one, Bloke. We'll catch you later.
All right, man. Take care, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
See you later, man.
Take it easy, Jason.
So, anybody out there and on YouTube chat have anything they want to ask about what we saw or anything along those lines? Let us know. We can. I'm sure I'm probably not the only one that's looking at the YouTube chat right now because I see Stacy's out there commenting out there, so talking to people. So if anybody has anything they want to ask, feel free. I'm sure those of us who were there will be able to answer your questions for you. If not, we can move on, I guess, to the next topic, unless anybody else has anything else they want to add about the rally.
I just wonder if the organizers, they probably got the same takeaway from it too, that this one, I would call it a success, and I'd call it a good enough success that they need to do another one, but with a longer planning time.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. And again, it might not have been the biggest crowd in the world, but you had really good speakers. There was a decent crowd for the amount of time that they were planning this. And it's definitely something that can be built on in the future if they choose to do so.
Yep.
Is that all anybody has left to say on that? If so, we'll move on to our next topic.
Well, I'll just say that on the ride home, I saw several advertisements for how much the current lottery jackpot is. And I did have thoughts about that. That I wish, I could win that lotto, not to be selfish, but I would use all the millions that I won from a ticket to expand the fight, strengthen the fight, get the message out there. But I kind of had a thought in my head, there's the Bloombergs and the sources and all the billions out there against us. It would really be nice if we had something on our side. And with all the fake news and everything out there, there's cable TV right here in front of me, got 200 or 300 channels. not one of those channels is a TV gun channel or a word on any of them about our rights. And if we just had the money to break into that, I think we'd get somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that. I lost my page. Where am I? Oh, here we are. Okay. So now, our next topic, I'm sure if those of you who read the title know and who have been paying attention to to what's been going on with gun channels lately, know that I won Travis's giveaway for his upper. The box is open, but I have not pulled the upper out of the box yet. I'm going to do that now, and we can all see exactly what it is. And then I guess we could talk about the caliber or any other thing we want to talk about that might be a related subject. So let me pull that out of here. You can see it's still wrapped in the bubble wrap, still taped up. When I say I didn't open it, I didn't open it. It was here when I got home last night, but I was beat and I wasn't opening it last night. So I figured I'd say it for the show tonight. First, we got the magazine that he said he was sending. I believe he says a 10-round magazine. For those of you who don't know, this is in 224 Valkyrie. It's a Bear Creek Arsenal. That's the magazine that he had for it when he was testing it, because they sent it to him for him to test it, and he decided he was going to give it away to somebody on his channel that was subscribed to him. Let me set that aside. Let's see how this is tweaked up here. There we go. You just use Scotch tape so it's easy to get it open. And we got more bubble wrap. You really wanted to make sure this thing didn't get damaged. All right. This one he's got a little more tape on. There we go. We're getting there. All right, here we go. We got us a bipod on there. It's an 18-inch barrel, I believe is what he said it has. It's more like a 16. He said it's an 18, so I'll take his word for it. But, yeah. So this is what it is, folks. This is what I got to work with.
Nice, Rich.
Well, cool. The legs move independently of one another on the bipod. Doesn't swivel. It looks like the leg. Oh, okay. The legs on the bipod are actually not connected. They're on two separate little rail sections. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. But the bipod legs are actually separate pieces. Guess that'd give you a lower profile for when you got the bipod out. If you want to get low, and then it's extended out. But it doesn't. But that also makes it where it doesn't you can't rotate the barrel or anything with it. So that might be the one downside to the bipod. So again, this is a 224 Valkyrie. Anybody have any thoughts on that as a caliber?
I really don't know anything about it. I was about ready to ask you if you knew a lot about it, because a lot of times I really like something new. It's a chance to learn about it, get some education.
Yeah, it's based on the 6.8 SPC, I believe, or SPL. I always forget what the initials are for it, but it's based on that. And they necked it down to take essentially what's a 5.56 or 2.23 caliber projectile, but because of the case size, it can take a heavier bullet than what 5.56 would. They range, I believe, from 75 grains up to, well, I think currently 99, but they are working on 100 grain bullets for it as well. They're not out with those yet. They were something that they were working on, and it basically was designed to be a longer range round and a more precise round, precision shooting kind of round, and for medium game hunting, for deer and stuff like that size, or whitetails or mule deer, something along those lines. Because it'll be a heavier bullet hitting harder. So while you can use like a 5.56 or 2.23 to hunt deer, 2.24 Valkyrie would be more humane way of doing it because you're more likely to get a kill shot with one. We were just talking about Tim from Military Arms Channel when we were talking about the rally. He has a video where he actually was hunting a deer with one, was out deer hunting with one of these, or at least this the 2.24 Valkyrie caliber, and he was able to take down a pretty decent sized buck. It took him 2 shots, but he was able to take it down in 2 shots. The first shot would have taken it down eventually, because it broke its the hip joint on the front leg, and it went down, but it got back up, and then he shot it again, and then it didn't get back up the second time. So and this was a fairly decent sized buck.
Does that have to have a special buffer or spring or anything?
You just use the standard AR-15 furniture. Whatever you would use for a 6.8 is what you would use for this. Nothing super special. Just uses a standard AR-15 lower and everything. Anybody else have any comments or questions? I don't know what's being said out there. I got to open up the YouTube thing. Yeah, nobody out there on the YouTube side. Looks like they're talking about whatever Rob D had at the Hard Rock last night.
No, he was talking about cowtails earlier. He got him some candy, those cowtails. I told him I had a whole pasture full of cows. I can send him cowtails.
Yeah, he was talking about he went to the Hard Rock last night, so I didn't know if that's what you were talking about. So I didn't see the cowtails part. Okay.
Oh yeah, I think I was there with him when he got that first time he'd ever had one of those.
Yeah, I just wish I had a camera when I gave Rob the what Tony had sent me to give to him. The look on his face, man, you could tell Rob really appreciated it. It was cool. I'm glad that helped you out, Rob. He says
Yep.
Tony paid for his gas, coffee, parking, dinner, and cowtail. That's cool. Yeah. What happened was, it was after Night Strike show on Friday night, and we were talking. It actually started during Night Strike show. Tony was asking if there was anybody that needed some help getting there because he wasn't able to go, but he would be willing to, send them some gas money or whatnot. So we were talking and trying to figure out who could use it, and Rob was talking about how he had just put all kinds of money into his truck to get the truck fixed so he could get there, and that's who we decided that we would give the money to. Rob didn't know how much Tony was sending up, but I'm not going to say now. Yeah, we noticed. We were paying attention, and Yep. So Tony wired me the money, and I gave it to him, and it, you know, it was cool that Tony sent what he sent, and like I said, Rob was really appreciative and everything. It was just a cool moment, I'm just glad he was able to put that to use, and it helped him out. I hope I didn't just embarrass him, but but yeah, Rob seems like a really good guy, and it was good to be able to help him out, So now we come to the point in the show where I usually run out of topics, and we turn it over to the panel and see if they have anything any of them want to have anything they want to talk about. So, Stacy, you got anything you want to talk about?
Oh, no, I can't think of anything.
Okay. And what about you, Sarge? I believe this is your first time on the show. Anything you want to talk about?
No, I was on a while ago.
Were you?
I've been on once before, at least once before.
He wants to talk about Kimber for Karen.
Kimbers for Karen. Yeah, that's a promotion and a campaign we're running to get all Karens out there a Kimber Bel Air in either 380 or 9mm.
Wouldn't you be able to find one of those next week at Tulsa?
Oh, I would think there'd be several there, and I think we should use the Kimbers for Karen hashtag to get Snob on board with this 380 project that we're trying to get going.
I'm sure he's gonna love that.
Oh, I've already got a nasty text. So now, me personally, hey, this is just my thoughts. I think that gun in a 9mm might be a little snappy. I think that gun in a 380 would be so fun to shoot. So I'm trying to get them to get to the 380 or the 9, but I think the 380 would be cool.
I don't really care which one it is.
I think that'd be a forever gun. You just keep that one from now on.
Now, would the Kimber Bel Air constitute a barbecue gun? It is a pretty little gun.
It's pretty.
You sure?
Have you seen one?
You could, yeah, they're nice. You could get a custom one. You know what I mean? You could custom engrave those grips or anything on that. That'd be sweet.
Oh yeah, they're pretty nice looking. They're very. I see why they call them a Bel Air. They look very 50s.
Yeah, it really captures like a '57 Chevy Bel Air. It really captures that
turquoise, ivory, and stainless. I guess would be chrome, but that color combo, very nice.
Yeah. Getting back to what we were talking about earlier, but
so I'm sure we can find one of those there.
Yeah. Yeah, real quick. When we were talking about Artisan Tony sending that for Rob, he says the act kind of gives me hope in a way, not for money, but about the good in people. I've dealt with so many bad. Sometimes a reminder of the kindness is a breath of fresh air. Again, Rob, I'm glad we were able to help you out, man. That's the way you had to try and get your truck fixed and everything, and then you were talking about how you might be short on gas, and you were hoping that you would have enough money left over after gas just to get a menu. Yeah, we noticed all that, and Tony wanted to make sure you had something so that you could get yourself a decent meal while you were there and pay for your gas and everything. So, yeah, we had you. I told you Friday night we had you covered, and we did. So I'm just glad it was able to help you out. But, yeah, and getting back to the Bel Air, another thing that it could harken to is like Bel Air, California, because
I got to meet Rob D.
It looks like something that you could imagine somebody who lives in Bel Air carrying. You know what I mean? It's a really pretty little gun.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
She
Somebody who is from California would enjoy
my
something
whole life.
like that even more.
Well, we're talking. Remember, Sarge was specifically talking about how it's reminiscent of the '50s. So Delaware in the '50s, people would have been carrying guns. That was before the whole hippies destroyed California.
I want to make a special announcement. I just found my Olight that's been missing for 2 weeks. My wife must have put it in my drawer.
I did not put it in your drawer, so don't even blame me.
Yeah. Now you gotta go on a scavenger hunt and find your wallet, Snob, so you
Hey.
can buy your timber.
My wallet's empty.
Well, that's
It's always
Hey,
empty. till
speaking
he
of
wants to spend
California
money.
and gun owners, I was watching Chips, and I think it was the first or second
you're
season when he's in the RV. There's a huge NRA sign sitting in the chair, like when he's getting ready for work episodes, and an NRA sign there in California. And the few times that they do like find any weapons on people, just they're not all freaked out about it. You know, if they find them in a car, they're not like freaking out like they would now. Wow, I killed it.
I think all of us were reading the YouTube chat.
Yeah, everybody's responding to YouTube.
Yeah. Rob also says, I still have all my teeth after meeting Sarge, so that was a plus too. Apparently he thinks you want to knock his teeth out or something. I don't know.
Obi-Wan just complained on and on and on about my video. My video from yesterday has done really better than any video I've ever done in the first 24 hours. The live stream.
Yeah, somebody said he had like 2,500 people or something who watched it.
I mean, so far, over 3,000 people have watched it.
It's over 3,000 now.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's cool. I listened
That's
to
crazy.
it Sarge, on my drive home just because I thought that you were up close, but for us out in the crowd and moving around, the speakers weren't very loud, or they needed some more speakers. I listened to yours, what you put out there on the way home tonight, and yeah, I mean, I could hear everything that the speakers were saying. Some of them I didn't pay a lot of attention to while I was there, you know, and others you only caught part of what they were saying, and it. Like, plus for me, when I was there and I was watching a speaker, it went kind of so fast and one after another, you really didn't have any time for anything to sink in. But watching on the replay, I would suggest people out there watch it twice, watch it 3 times, so you can really take in what each speaker had to say.
Yeah, that's usually the way it works. I mean, unless you're really super paying attention and you don't have a bunch of people around you making noise, there's going to be parts that you're going to miss. It's just human nature. So yeah, you definitely, if there's something that you really caught your ear or whatnot, watch that whole speech again, because there might be more to it that you may have missed.
Yeah, the speeches really were good.
Yeah, they really did a good job of picking people to speak, and the speeches were very well written, especially on the short of notice of what they had. As somebody who's had to give speech before, short notice for writing a speech can be annoying, especially if you're wanting to do more than one draft, and you want to, and getting somebody to proofread it and everything. I mean, for as short a period as they had, probably, because who knows when they got asked to do it and when they, and when they had time to write their speech and everything. So they don't have professional speechwriters. So they were writing these things themselves, and to write as good a speeches as what they did in as short a time period as they did, they gave phenomenal speeches.
Yeah, and I just can't convey enough how I didn't have any high hopes at all for the speeches. I wasn't really interested in that when we were going there on the way, when we decided I was going to go. I had zero interest really in that. Because I didn't know what to expect, but I was thoroughly impressed with all of them.
Yeah, I pretty much was planning on just ignoring John Patton, but I gotta admit, even he gave a pretty decent speech. And we've been joined by the orange one. How you tonight, Obnoxious?
You mean this was live? I didn't know this was live.
Yeah, it's live, man. It's live.
Damn it.
So,
Well, the show was going good till he showed up.
yeah. Well, Snob jumped in too. Now it's really going to hell.
Why are we even allowing these people that didn't bother to go to the rally to come in here and be on this show?
I don't know. I'm going to take the Yankee approach and just say that rally, that wasn't even a rally. That was the dumbest thing ever. They should just give up. We should just give up on 2A.
And for those that didn't know, Obnoxious just loans his footage to anyone that wants to pretend they're at the rally.
Yeah.
That is a dirty lie.
To anyone that wants to completely be a fake and a fraud and pretend they were there, just borrow some of Obnoxious's footage.
Mm-hmm. And then think that I'm not gonna think, man, that looks at like the exact angle I was at.
Like you mean 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 23 seconds later?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like
25.
it's 23 will get you there, and then it's like a couple frames after that. So it's yeah, like I'm not gonna figure out that. Like that's not gonna trigger me to go. That looks. Must have been right next to me, and then realize no.
I think that just tells us that they are you.
Yes, they are totally me because I can't post on Instagram at the moment.
True.
So we know it's not you. We know it's not me.
Yeah, that's we have a good alibi.
So you missed the beginning of the show, Obnoxious. We were talking about the rally. What were your takeaways?
Good, she's gone. I'm going to admit that I was a little disappointed in how many were there. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that the people that showed up did show up. I was a little disappointed in how many were there, or how many weren't there, or however you want to phrase that. But I thought some of the speakers were really good. I thought some of them were not so good. We're throwing out bad information. As much as we hate when people throw out other or bad information about us, then they start throwing it against something else. Like I almost completely lost my shit when the guy started talking about SSRIs. So that I was not a fan of. I'm not a fan of people throwing out, their theories with no basis in fact behind them on why things are. Now we can all have our theories, but when you start throwing them out as fact with no scientific basis, then I have an issue.
Okay. And if you were to pick one speech that you would say was the best one of the day, whose would it have been?
I could say that, but it's going to have a caveat that probably going to get me in trouble. So I think there was one speech that was the best one of the day, but I don't believe it. So we'll just say that.
Okay, so you're gonna waffle on the question, is that it?
No, I'm not going to waffle on the question. I'm just not going to sign myself. I'm just not going to sign myself up for extra headache that I don't have to.
What's the point?
So I think there was one speech that's really good. I think that's somebody who walks the walk and doesn't talk the talk. And it has nothing really to do with guns. It has other issues behind it. So, but I think they're a very good speaker.
Okay.
Why are you talking about Gizzard Gary that way?
I don't remember being there.
See, if he'd been there, then I would be talking about Gizzard Gary.
Oh, he was probably there. He was standing right next to you. You took that picture over your shoulder, you know?
Incoming, bite me.
Yeah, I know.
I'll do it right
He loves
here.
being nosy.
Bite me.
No. I swear, next Friday, Gary is getting bit, and probably right on the ear. I think Sarge recommended the ear. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a love nibble or a real bite.
Rob, I wouldn't call it shameful. I don't know. I did Yankee call it shameful? Is that what? Yeah. Well, are any of us surprised by that?
Of course, Yankee claimed there's only 300 people there and that the crowd was only 10 people deep.
Yeah, and that it was a huge negative because of that.
I would guess that there was probably 2,000 people there.
Yeah, that's basically what we've been estimating.
I'm surprised Yankee didn't say there was less than no people there. There was like negative people. The way he was downplaying it.
Yeah, Yankee was really down on it, but G-Webs was eating at Yankee, so that was great.
Oh, he went completely off.
So if I
And I
haven't
wasn't
seen
griping
this,
about it.
would you guys recommend I go back and watch it? The
Yeah.
Yankees chat.
Oh, yes.
It's probably the most wound up I've seen G, and rightly so.
Oh, is he going to win the wound up of the week?
He's in the running, definitely.
Cool.
He's probably the woo spot of the year so far.
He's edging roll call out of his spot. I tell
No
you.
way. No way.
He was
Though
so
I was disappointed in Roll Call's chat, his rant and raves this last week, because he didn't get nearly as wound up as I was expecting.
Did he get wound up at all?
He lost his mojo, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He was too busy shoveling those Pringles in his mouth.
I think the most he got wound up this past Wednesday was when I won his giveaway after winning the upper from Travis B11.
I wish I could have been there, but it was disappointing that there wasn't more local people because there does have to be a ton of local people, but I don't think it's shameful in any way. I think it's kind of disappointing, but I don't think shameful is the word to use by any means.
Well, the local people were all at the Walgreens party anyway.
That may have been the problem.
Yeah, the locals were all at the Nationals rally.
See, no one can quantify the amount of people that had to pick what they wanted to do. You know, there's probably a lot of people that didn't come because they thought it was going to be a traffic nightmare.
Yep. That's the thing. I think part of it is some of them were at the Nationals parade. Some of them didn't come in because they heard it was going to be a nightmare moving around in there,
Which it really wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
No. And some are just lazy.
Yeah, and then there's probably still a whole lot of people that literally had to decide between paying rent or going too.
Oh, of course.
Nope, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah,
Everyone has a sugar mama.
that wouldn't have been as big a deal for the locals. Come on.
Or an auger mama. But I hear auger mamas get banned in certain chats.
I hate you all.
Yeah,
You did
some
it.
more people could attend if they didn't pay those high internet prices.
If they didn't get sick and get behind on their work, you know.
So I got irritated listening to Yankee, but what did he say about Hickok and Eric and all them being there? Was he bad mouthing them for showing up or saying they got paid to be there or what?
Of course. He said no one knows their motivations. They probably got, of course, it said probably. They probably got free airfare, free hotel fare. He knew they got paid. No one went there for free. He knew it was something else.
Well, and I will say probably because I did lose like the center part of the speakers, but I was not impressed with Hickok at all speaking. Not even a little bit.
I swear, if Hickok came out in favor of oxygen, Yankee would strangle himself. So maybe we can make that happen.
Well, I was glad Hickok was there, not just for the fact that, everybody loved him till he said the wrong things in his little chat. Maybe he shouldn't even have done that kind of sit down thing, but he's got 4 million subscribers, and everybody wants to complain the crowd was too small. If he got 10 people to come or one person, you know what I mean? That's cool with me.
Oh yeah, he's got some draw in it.
More than just a few.
And I'm not saying anything about his motivations for being there or whether I like him or don't like him. I thought he would be a better speaker than that, and I was kind of disappointed in his speech.
Yeah, he's not really.
I know when he first said
speaker,
he was exactly the way he was in his videos.
Well, when he first said in that one video that he was attending, the last TikTok video I watched, and the first one I've watched in a long time, but when he was just telling everybody about it and he was attending, he said he wasn't speaking because he said, I'm not a good speaker. And he basically said that, and then the next thing you know, he's speaking. I guess they asked him to once he said he was attending.
And in that case, more power to him, because if I had to get up there and speak, I would probably pee myself and then fall into a little ball into the fetal position up there. So
he was just like he is on his videos. He's the papa of the internet. He was just up there just talking like he always does. You're right. It wasn't a well planned out speech. It was just him up there talking. I didn't think it was that bad.
Hickok may have 4 million subscribers, but he's still just a guy like our neighbors. You know what I mean? He cry they paid him or not. He didn't show up there in a suit and a tie or anything, and he didn't pull up with a fancy car out front or nothing. He just showed up, was walking around when he wasn't talking, and just mingling. He's just an everyday guy, just like your neighbor had just come out and hauled the trash to the curb or whatever, And a lot of people were glad to see him. I'm sure I saw him stop and take photos with people, just shake a hand and move around. He was trying to take in the rally himself. It wasn't all about him or anything. So, like I said, if he could draw any attention to it, that's cool.
He stopped and was on my video. I did the little pre-show. He stopped. He was on it. He was nice.
Yeah,
I met him twice in Tulsa and once or a couple times at NRA too, and he was just friendly as could be, everyday guy every time.
Another person you had on your pre-show there, Sarge, was Tim from Military Arms Channel.
Yeah, he was cool.
I think Tim gave a really good speech.
Yeah,
I think he played
a good speaker too.
Yeah, well, and he played up to the crowd a little bit too. The whole will not comply, except he was complying while he was there, and showed
the whole-
showed DC that he was complying. But I mean, that's
in case he was in the
his thing.
crosshairs.
Yes.
I was like, oh please. We don't need a martyr.
But that's his brand. I mean, it really is. It's his brand, and it gets people fired up. And sometimes you need to fire people up.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think
other than-
Yankee was just. Oh, sorry, Rich.
No, go ahead, Snow.
I was just gonna say I think Yankee was just down on the rally because Yankee hates Pincus, and Pincus pretty much put it together.
Well, he didn't get invited to speak. Is what it is. So that's why it's mad. Well, G was calling him out. He's like, "What are you going to do to get people there? Just yell at them and insult them? What's your plan to get people to show up?
Which is Yankees brand.
They just yell at people and insult them."
That's what he does.
Yep, that's Yankees MO.
Hey, did any of you guys actually take the photo of our G patches?
Yeah, I took 3 or 4 of them.
I have one that my friend took over my shoulder, and Adam got some.
Do you guys mind emailing me one of those?
Oh God, that's gonna take me like 3 weeks.
Well,
for
you're
it
going to
to-
copyright strike if you use a knock.
It's gonna take like 3
I'll
weeks to
pay-
upload.
You could mail it and I'll pay the postage for it.
It'd probably get there faster. But yeah, it'd be postage due. Son of a bitch.
Hey, speaking of which, a GoPro Hero 6 door will fit on a Hero 7.
Oh,
Case you
will
didn't
it?
know.
Okay.
So
Here, I'm sending them now,
Exact
Jason.
same browser.
So it may be a week or so before it gets uploaded from my internet, but they'll be on their way.
We'll know whenever he sends it because he'll get kicked out of the chat.
yeah. Okay. So
It'll be a
we were
brown
talking
out.
earlier about how Othias from CN Arsenal was standing there watching the rally in front of me and Squib, and we talked to him a little bit. Did anybody else see anybody who, famous from YouTube or Instagram or whatnot that wasn't actually there as a speaker, but just there as a spectator?
Saw
Obnoxious
Tracy
was there.
Guns.
Other than the Gun Channels people snubbing, you weren't there, so be quiet.
I saw Tracy Guns. She was there.
I saw John Hickok.
Yeah, John Hickok. Tony Simons. He was there and didn't speak.
Yeah, there was one guy walking around, looked like Mr. Guns and Gear, but it wasn't Mr. Guns and Gear. But if he has a brother, it could have been him.
Yeah, he actually paid for somebody's trip.
Say G was there.
Kingpin, he was on here. He was really picking everybody out, and he would mention people all the time and point which direction in the crowd there was. But I actually wasn't really looking that hard for the different people or anybody unusual myself. But I would have liked to have met that Othias guy.
Yeah, Othias was cool, man. He was just standing there talking to us about stuff and joking around and whatnot. So that was kind of cool. We talked to him.
I thought I saw Hank Williams Jr., but then it was on the live feed. But then it was Rich White instead. What, you had your Hank Williams Jr. sunglasses on and your hat looked just like you.
Those aren't sunglasses, man. Those are just my regular glasses. They're the transitions. Okay, so
Yeah.
you mentioned Kingpin's name, and he shows back up again. So
That's magic.
yeah, it's magic. So we were just talking about any minor celebrities from the gun community, or like on YouTube or Instagram, or anybody saw that were walking around that weren't speakers. So did you see anybody like that would fall into that category, Kingpin, while you were there?
Not while I was there, but while I was checking Instagram this morning, I saw that Sarah Albright was there from Hold My Guns.
Okay. So other than Kingpin,
Tony Simon was there. He didn't speak, but he's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think Obnoxious was saying that he saw him there, or I think Sarge said somebody he saw him there too. So that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Tony Simon's just a genuine nice guy too.
Other than Kingpin and I, did anybody else have any trouble getting out of DC yesterday?
Nope, didn't have a bit of trouble. We had Sarge and I hopped on the train and gone.
Passed out, and we were gone.
Jason didn't stay over and didn't leave the city yesterday. They stayed overnight in the city. So, how busy was the train? Was there a lot of people on there when you were getting on, or was it still like pretty dead because the parade hadn't ended yet?
It was full.
It was full on the way out. Empty on
Was
the
it?
way in.
It
full
wasn't.
on the way out.
Yeah, it wasn't packed going out. I mean, but it was full. Everybody, all the seats are taken.
I'd say there was some people standing.
Yeah. Would you say though there would have been people that were at the rally that were on the train with you, or were there people wearing Nationals gear too?
It was all baseball.
Yeah, I never saw so many ball hats with a W on them in my life.
It's because they're all winners.
So do you honestly think if the Astros would have won, the rally would have been bigger? I mean, truthfully, just because of people staying away because of traffic and stuff, maybe?
Oh, I don't think so.
I think it would have been bigger. How much bigger? I don't know. I'm not going to say it would have been 20,000 people, but may it have been, hey, another couple thousand maybe? Yeah. It was only going to be so big, apparently. But I think it would have been bigger if that hadn't been there.
Yeah, if it would have been across the river in Virginia, it probably would have been a bigger turnout too, because then you wouldn't have had the people complaining about, oh, you can't carry, so I'm not going. So that may have factored in as well.
That may have just eliminated their excuse.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just use that as their I draw the line here excuse.
Well, what people don't realize is Virginia is one big state. I get that. But it's sectioned off. And right outside D.C., like when you cross the Potomac into Virginia, that's considered Northern Virginia. Mm-hmm. And it's not hardly any different than Maryland. You know, it's not like Oklahoma and Northern Virginia. You got to go down to Southern Virginia to get all that. You know, people think that everybody's got a gun and a shotgun in their pocket in Virginia kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I guess because it's right. It's a metropolitan area right there, so that does change things as far as people's perception.
You know, if they would, I still think if they would have had the, like Leesburg area where they're going to be having the Gunathon, you may have had a little bit more people show up there too in that area, because it's still more gun friendly of an area than what DC is.
Yeah, but then you're not in the place where you're supposedly going to make people notice.
Oh, it's still a metropolitan DC area.
Yeah, but it's not in front of the Capitol.
Yeah, people obviously didn't care about that are complaining about, oh, I can't carry my gun there. Aren't going to carry about it if you're in front of the Capitol or not. If they did, they wouldn't be making that excuse, and their asses would have been there.
I don't think that's really what stopped anybody. I think maybe two people. I think most people are just using that as an excuse, like Sarge said.
Well, if you eliminate their excuse, whatever, okay.
I mean,
so
that's
that's
clearly
weird.
why I didn't go, though.
Yeah, we know why you couldn't go. That's it's like my wife. She had a reason why she couldn't go. So a legitimate reason. She had to go take her board certifications.
So is Oklahoma constitutional carry for real at this moment?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a little prayer for Snob.
Let freedom
I've been
ring.
squeegeeing blood out of the streets all weekend. That's the reason I couldn't be there. I had to squeegee blood all weekend.
Just wait till your cows figure out that they don't need to commit to carry anymore. You're really gonna be in trouble.
I know, right?
Yeah, especially those young bulls, man. When you come at them with that knife, like, oh no, you better get the hell away from me. They ain't gonna be putting up with that no more.
I mean, to be honest, we have to admit everybody that was at the rally that didn't have a gun did get robbed. I mean, we forgot to mention that part because, out in front of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. is the most dangerous place in the world.
Well, I did get robbed. I had to pay $10 for a Metro card, and I only got $8 worth of value out of it, and then I didn't even use all of that.
I used it up for you.
Yes, but only by mistake.
Yeah, only by mistake.
It's not like you got a free ride out of anything.
No.
So did you get you one of those Walgreens hats while you were there?
No, it's funny you mentioned Walgreens though, because I was smart enough to leave my cigarettes in Ohio and needed cigarettes while I was in Washington, and I was using the Google Maps on my phone to find a Walgreens. I typed in, where to buy some cigarettes at, and it showed me there was a Walgreens, and I just like a street away, according to it. I walked around for an hour or more, totally lost, and couldn't find no Walgreens.
Did you have a bunch of street vendors trying to sell you T-shirts?
No, I didn't see any vendors. I was up in like the neighborhoods and stuff.
I bought some 100% reputable hats on the way out.
Yeah, it's like there was one block where you couldn't go 5 feet. Kingpin will back me up on this, where there wasn't somebody trying to sell us a T-shirt.
And that's the thing too. If you got there an hour earlier, 2 hours earlier, and you bought the same shirt, it would have cost you $20. But as soon as the rally ended, they were all $10. And if you'd have waited another half an hour, they'd have been $5.
Yeah, it's just like when you go to
buying a T-shirt at a concert.
Yeah, it's like bootleg concert T-shirts. They're $30 for a T-shirt, even on your way out. You want to buy a T-shirt for $10? One time,
You should have just loaded Rich up and brought him back with you, one of you two, and then you could have brought him to Tulsa. I mean, I don't know how you get back to Virginia, but West Virginia, wherever the heck he lives. But
he lives in the sticks of West Virginia.
Yeah, I don't think I would swing driving him home from Oklahoma.
Now, Kingpin knows.
You could have brought David and Rich too.
See, Kingpin knows where I live. He can verify that I'm not in the sticks.
And surprisingly enough, he is not the only person that lives in West Virginia.
Oh, there's like 2 more?
Well, there's a whole
I think
city.
there's probably like 4 or 5.
Oh.
There's a whole city here.
And according to the girl at Burger King, they were all out trick-or-treating too.
Well, that was in Romney. Romney, they were trick-or-treating. And Kingpin was flirting with her, and we got a whole bunch of napkins.
Whoa.
Stacy's
Like
gonna
a
be mad
napkin
when
connection.
you find out Kingpin was flirting with somebody other than her.
Yeah, he was flirting with the girl at the drive-through window, and she gave us a whole bunch of napkins.
I cannot confirm that.
He will neither confirm nor deny. Is that what this is?
I will confirm that we did get a bunch of napkins. Was I flirting with her? I can't confirm that.
Oh, well, Rich is the whistleblower, and we have a quid pro quo at where Burger King.
Yeah, I didn't-
Surprisingly enough, my burger wasn't messed up, which was
Oh,
I was definitely happy about that.
Oh, they got one right for once.
I was
I
definitely
think I'm gonna go
nervous.
join Midnight's chat. Hey, Rich.
What?
We got our
I think
midnight
I'm gonna
lights.
drop out. I'm gonna.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, Midnight's chat's getting ready to start.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll see you over there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Thanks
start
for the
winding
invite.
this. Yep, no problem. Yep, we are going to have to start winding this up then. 'Cause otherwise, Midnight's gonna get all butthurt and he's gonna get mad at all of us. So
Shall not be infringed.
we'll start
That's a
with
cat room.
Gary. Yeah, we'll start with Gary. You got anything you want to plug real quick, Gary?
I'm gonna be in Tulsa next weekend, so hopefully run into a bunch of people there. Check out my stuff. I'm gonna try to get a range video together from my micro conversion kit. I've got some GoPro footage. I'm gonna try to get that done before I go to Tulsa. But otherwise, thanks for the invite.
Yep, no problem. Glad to have you. Next, we'll go to Jason. Anything you want to plug?
No, I don't have anything to plug, but thanks for the invite. It was good to see you. And just check out everybody's channel. I'm sure you're subscribed, but check out their content. If you ain't doing nothing, look at something they put out a while back.
Yep. Yeah, it was good meeting up with you yesterday. That was fun. And we will move on next to the obnoxious one, the Orange Man himself. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, my channel. Duh. I mean,
Well, other than that, you're not
what
allowed.
else? No, I don't want to plug anything else. I just want to plug my channel. And everybody that's out there watching, let's go over to Instagram and scream at them for blocking me and Snob, saying that we're bots.
That's
Trust
annoying.
me. If I was a bot, I would be a lot thinner than what I am. I would not choose to be a fat bot. So, other than that, thanks for the invite, Rich.
Yep, no problem. It was nice meeting up with you yesterday as well. Snob, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, my channel. Go watch it. There's all sorts of videos. Nothing this week though, because I'm busy this week and in Tulsa. So, yeah, probably nothing this week.
All right. Next, we have
Thanks for having me.
Yep, no problem. I would say it was nice meeting up with you yesterday, but you weren't there. So,
Yeah, if it ever happens again, I will be though.
yeah. Next, the guy who doesn't let people put gas in his car. You're the Kingpin. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, just let everybody know that not only did Rob D confirm, but a lot of other people did. I'm not a big fat black guy. I'm a tall, skinny white guy, regardless of how I may sound.
All right. On that note, we will bid you all adieu, and we will catch you next week. Now, get on over to Midnight Show, and then you'll talk. We'll talk to you again over there because we're all going to be over there. So catch you next week on this one. Later, folks.
I'll be first.
All right. How do I turn this damn thing off? Jane, stop this crazy thing.